Gear tried to destroy this truck, and let me tell you, it's almost impossible to think that this truck could survive almost anything that was going to hit it. This truck can survive almost half a ton, and it could last for decades, even without maintenance or priority checks. This is the story of how Top Gear couldn't destroy this Toyota pickup. The Toyota pickup, also known in the Philippines as the Toyota Hilux, is a light heavy duty pickup truck used for farmers and for families. But have you heard of the secret? What would happen if life took a different way? What if the Hilux could not be killed? Well, that story is real. The Toyota Hilux is an unbreakable vehicle that can't be destroyed or can't be stopped. And let me tell you, it's crazy to think that someone would think that this car was indestructible. The Toyota Hilux is indestructible mainly for one good reason: its reliability. It doesn't have any supernatural capabilities. It's not a superhero, it's not a demon, it's just a truck. This old Toyota Hilux could take a beating, it could take the abuse, and it cannot even die. No matter how many times you try to bash it, smash it, or crush it, the Toyota Hilux will never ever stop running. So, what exactly is the Toyota Hilux? The Toyota Hilux is a light duty cargo truck used for families and farmers in the Philippines. Many North Americans and Canadians don't call it Hilux, they call it something different. They call it the Tacoma or Tundra, or likely the Toyota truck. But what is the deal with Top Gear and this truck? Could Top Gear really wreck this truck to bits? Well, the problem is they couldn't, because this Hilux doesn't want to give up trying. The Toyota Hilux is an engineering marvel. No technology, no AI, no robotics, no supernatural capability. Just a old diesel work truck wanting to survive longer than it was. It could even outlast a modern Tesla Roadster. Trust me. You're gonna believe me why I am telling you this. They first dropped the Hilux down a building that is about to explode. They sank it in salt water, and then they burn it down with fire. They even whack it with a wrecking ball, drop a camping van on top of its roof. And guess what? This Hilux does not want to give up that easily. And it still ran, even though it would take more than a beating or a day to just pick up this old dirty pickup truck. How is it possible for an old Toyota to survive such long work days after being bashed, smashed into, and possibly been destroyed so many times? Well, it's a reliable truck, I guess. When Toyota first made the Hilux back in the 1960s, many Americans didn't want to touch it because it was basically the only thing that made America feel, well, different. The Toyota Hilux isn't just a story, it's a legend that outgrew modern day technology, and the Hilux was a distraction from what other cars aren't. The Toyota Hilux is known for being indestructible mainly due to its reliability, cost efficiency, and parts availability. The Toyota Hilux is the longest running manufactured truck found in everywhere and likely anywhere. No matter where you go, you can't deny the whole thing about an old Toyota pickup, because this pickup does not want to try living life. It wants to live because it was supposed to live. It was supposed to survive. What many car manufacturers don't understand is GMC's, Dodge, Chevys, and Ford pickup trucks weren't reliable. The Hilux was. But was it really true? Can the Hilux be stopped, or can it still go? Well, one answer: it can still go, and it won't even break down a bit, except for the most points. The Toyota Hilux wasn't just a truck, it was a legend. A legend that refused to die, a legend that refused to be ignored. It refuses to be called as a background detail. While many movies consider sports cars, muscle cars, dragsters, and roadsters, old movies still relied on pickup trucks, not just a background detail, but they became legends they say on screen. The Toyota Hilux wasn't just an icon because of its reliability. It became the synonymous truck that everyone fell in love with. Not because it was different, not because it was old, it was reliable. Even though it took 40 or 60 years, the Toyota Hilux doesn't age differently compared to modern cars. It aged because it was the right type of truck that everyone could agree on. When Top Gear decided one thing, they decided to do scientific experiments with the truck by crashing it into a tree, driving it down the stairs, crushing it with an RV, smashing it with a wrecking ball, and blow it up in a building that about explodes. And guess what? The Hilux never really died because it's a Hilux. How do you stop something that can't be stopped and it doesn't want to stop? It would just keep going forever until it ages for a long period of time and it would still look young even though it was already 45 years. Well, you couldn't. The Toyota Hilux was definitely one of the greatest things that many farmers and families love about. The Toyota Hilux wasn't just a random name. It wasn't just a background detail. It wasn't just a prop. It was a truck. A truck that refuses to die. How can you stop a pickup truck that doesn't want to die? Well, you couldn't. Because this truck doesn't give you an answer. Its only answer is it's reliable, rugged, tough, strong, resistant. It doesn't want to break. It doesn't want to give up. It doesn't want to try. It just wants to do its job. The Toyota Hilux is more than just a work truck. It's a living, rolling piece of history that doesn't ever change anything. It doesn't change itself. It doesn't change personality. It doesn't change how it looks. It just stays what it is. An old, reliable, diesel-powered work truck with an attitude. An attitude that doesn't waver. It doesn't need fame. It doesn't need trophies nor awards. It just wants to be respected. While many companies blame that their trucks were bad, the Toyota Hilux doesn't take it as an insult. It takes it as a compliment. The Toyota Hilux doesn't favor any feedbacks or trophies. The Toyota Hilux has won everyone. It's a truck that everyone loves, to be precise. Even though it was just a truck, many people still consider the Hilux was not just a random truck. It's an indestructible vehicle. In the late 1980s, during the Chad and Libyan War in 1986 towards 1987, the Chad Army decided to use Toyota Hilux and Land Cruiser models as war trucks. These were called the Toyota Technicals. In fact, when the Toyota Hilux was unleashed upon war against the Soviet tanks of Libya, the Libyan forces were so shocked and terrorized by the fact that the Toyota Hilux wasn't giving up that easily. And that's when the story moves on. The Toyota Hilux isn't just shocking people. It was giving itself that kind of respect that other vehicles couldn't take. They couldn't see it, but they know what it is. The Toyota Hilux doesn't share stories. It shares what it needs to be. It shares life. A lifespan that grows the popularity into believing what an old truck can really do against modern day technology. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you go comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell.